April 2025 marks the 150th anniversary of the first official excavations at Creswell Crags. We asked our staff the following question: what is your favourite discovery from the excavations at Creswell Crags?
It has to be this 40,000-year-old woolly rhino tooth. I just think this is remarkable. It's such an extraordinary shape there. It's incredible to think of the powerful jaw it would have sat in. It's heavy. Imagine the food it would have been grinding, the plants it would have been eating. I just think this is really joyful and extraordinary and wonderful.
So for me personally, it's quite a tricky question because there's so many amazing things. And when you first asked the question, I was sort of thinking about the mammoths and the lions and all these unusual animals that were here. But then I started to think about the horse jaw and the smashed horse teeth, both found in different caves, both found from different time periods. But the fact that we still have we still have horses today made it quite an interesting thing for me, because when we're talking about the Stone Age, the Paleolithic, those time periods seem very remote, and particularly with my day-to-day job talking to children that come on school trips, the fact that they can relate quite easily to a horse, and they know what a horse looks like and they have seen horses, and they might walk to the cave and see a horse on the way to the cave, or some of them ride horses. It brings it all together and it makes that history a lot more accessible for them.
I think for me the favourite discovery is probably the hyena coprolites. So I've got one just here and they're absolutely fantastic, more from an environmental point of view. So these things are amazing. We can tell so much about what used to be here into the plants and the fauna and the flora just by looking at these things. They have bits of pollen stuck inside, which is fantastic, which can give us an idea about what used to grow out in the crags, and how it would have been sort of a much more grassy landscape as opposed to being our sort of more wooded landscape we've got today, which I think is amazing to see how environments change sort of over the last 120,000 years at most. Now this isn't that old, this is only about sort of 40,000 years old, which is when all of our hyenas, or a lot of them, tend to be living here, just like Eric just here, will be roaming around at that sort of time. And I mean, who doesn't like fossilised poo? It's fantastic stuff.
So I've got many favourite objects from our collection, but the one I've chosen is it's a cut marked hair bone, the bone of a mountain hare, which is on display with some other implements, the bone sewing needle and other things that will be used to process soft materials. And I've chosen this because I think it embodies the detail of everyday life for our Ice Age ancestors here at Creswell Crags. So we've got a small piece of bone, and it's probably from the end of a leg bone. I have a brown hare's leg bone here, and it's from somewhere towards the end, so it's actually about the size of the end of my thumb, and it's got some very fine groove marks on it, which are from butchery. They're from where the sharp tool, a sharp flint blade, has been used to remove the tendons, the sinew, the pelt and the flesh from those animals' bones.
So I've picked this ochre crayon as my favourite artefact that's been found here at the Crags. It was discovered by accident as we were putting a new post in front of Church Hole, an interpretation post. Very unexpected and a lovely little surprise. So this is my favourite piece.
I think one of the most important discoveries here at Creswell Crags is the discovery of flint in our caves. Flint doesn't occur here naturally in Nottinghamshire or Derbyshire, so when we find tools in our caves it means that they have been made by people who have brought the flint here from further south and turned it into blades, hand axes and scrapers which have helped them survive. We have flint tools that have been found with bones that are over 40,000 years old, which means that first Neanderthals and then our own species were using flint to make the tools and weapons that they needed to live in this environment. Making flint tools is a really skillful thing to do, and the fact that they were making such a variety of tools shows that they were resourceful and skillful, and I think that's a really important thing to learn about the people that were living here tens of thousands of years ago.
So I have many favourite discoveries of things that have been found here during the excavations at Creswell Crags. But the one I've chosen is one that's been traditionally overlooked, especially by the early Victorian archaeologists. And that is the small mammals. So if you read the Victorian publications, you might see that they mention, oh, there was a water vole and some of the small mammals, and that was it. Later excavators made a better attempt at sort of retrieving the small mammals from the sediments that they excavated, and as such we now have quite a large species list of small mammals that were found at Creswell Crags. So what I have here is just some teeth of species that were excavated from the crypt between 2008 and 2012. So we have water vole, we've got narrow-skulled vole, then we've got Norway lemming, steppe pika, which is really, really cute, wood mouse and common shrew. I mean, all of these are really cute and their teeth are also really cool as well. And small mammals are actually really, really important. So they can help us to understand the environment in the past. So some mammals might tell us whether it was warm or cold, might tell us whether there was a water body in proximity to where the bones were excavated. And they might also be able to help us to understand some of the types of vegetation in the area.
Well, in the end, I decided to choose the bone needle that we have because after a lot of thought, I realised that it's a really nice reminder for me that humans have always been humans. So you can see, if you have a look at the needle, the design is exactly the same as our needles today. It's instantly recognisable to anybody. The only thing that we've changed is the material. And I love that because it's a huge reminder that these people were exactly the same people as us inhabiting our caves here at Creswell Crags. They had the same brains in their heads, the same biology, they would have felt the same kind of things, the same emotions, and experienced the world in similar ways, even down to doing the same activities as we do today. So it's a really nice connect to this needle, for me personally, to the past, because I think we tend to box Ice Age humans into this notion of primitiveness and savagery, but it's a lovely reminder that they're actually just the same as we are.